Alright, so this is probably the last time I'm going to see you before you go back. So I'm just going to kind of go over just a few things just to remind you of some of the things we worked on. So posture-wise, we worked on getting your bend points, your hips and your knees and your spine angle in a position where you are balanced, right? Because I can't remember if you were on your toes or your heels before that, toward the toes. The difference with an iron and a driver is you're going to be two fists away. I hadn't told you this, but with your irons, your hands would be one fist away, so it would be half of that. So you'd be there with 7 iron, meaning your hands would be in this box. With the driver, it's two fists away because of the length of the club. Wedges may be slightly less than a fist. Okay, so it really depends on the length of the club determines that. Ball position, somewhere close to the left heel is preferable. You're a little bit wider here than I would like because that's going to promote a little bit too much lateral. So I'm going to put this on each side of your ankle. And I would say that's too wide for your shoulder width. So if you were hitting an iron, I'd like to see your heels at the width of your shoulders and with your driver slightly wider than your shoulders. So I would say that this is slightly too wide. But we'll see if that creates what we talked about. So balls of your feet, check your middle finger to your top of your kneecap, one fist away with your iron, or about that, two fists with your driver. Make sure you're parallel to your target. I would encourage you, if you're hitting balls, this is our target one right here. I'm going to draw this at 90 degrees. You got to be careful sometimes that you don't aim too far right. Okay? A little bit right is okay, but that's about where your feet are on that. I don't mind it to be a little bit closed with your driver. I said a little bit. But with your irons, I don't want you ever closed. Okay. Because you're more of a drawer, biased type player anyway, which is a good thing because you're going to hit it further that way. Your misses, however, today were high right. We'll talk about that in a minute. I think you hit those on the field. Okay, let's see if you did. All right, so anything else that stood up? Your grip looks way better. How I know you're too far right is this left leg is too far out in front of your right. Okay. I'd like to see not quite that far right. Posture looks good, grip looks good. Check your aim. Ball position's okay, not quite as wide. So you're going to have to own that in your own practice habits. You should have done it with your 7 but you said you were hitting irons pretty good. All right, so let's talk about half and face first. So always draw the line on your right elbow. Why do I do that? What's your arms attached to? Shoulder. So this top line would be shoulder plane. Bottom line is club plane or hand plane. That's where it starts. Elbow plane is halfway in the middle of those two. Every tour player I've ever filmed and every good ball striker I've ever filmed is either on this line or slightly below it. If you're above that middle line, you're outside the plane. Okay? Does that make sense? All right, so let's look at half and face. I'm going to tell you what type of club face player you are, because there's shut face players, there's neutral face players, there's closed face players. What do you think you are? You're a closed face player. Who's a good example of a closed face player? I'm going to come back to this one in a minute. Do you know of one? See if we can put you up next to this. Don't forget that number 134. All right, Dustin, where are you? Okay. Dustin. Corey. Jason Shaw. Price. Jason Brett Snedeker. Who's in here? No, he is. I looked that up the other day. And Badley. Watson. Susan Bradley. Scott. All right. I know it's a different view, but look where the club face is facing. Yes, well, hit the sky, right? Yours is actually even more closed than his. Right there. Yeah. you're a shut face player. We're going to look at it coming down. We talked about where we wanted the club to be. If you're a drawer, you're going to be underneath it. So your face is still slightly closed.
Okay.
In order to keep the club face square, you hit this one on the heel. This is the one that I think it squirted high right. It started straight and it went this way. Because you hit it on the heel of the club.
Okay.
If I use some of that,
Okay.
Dr. Shade.
Okay.
Just foot pad.
Okay.
Spray it on your face, and when you hit the drivers, just try to keep watching where you're hitting it on the face. If you're hitting it on the heel, typically it's going to go right. If you hit it on the toe, it's going to go left. This one went a little bit right, but you hit it on the heel. The key for you is, like Dustin, I want you to watch his body here. He's a shut face player, so he's got to open up his chest and his hips really fast.
Yeah.
And he cannot turn the face over at impact. Neither can you. If you turn the face over at impact, it's going to go left. You've got to keep the face relatively square.
Okay.
That's a little shut for me. The reason it went right though is because you did it. So be careful that you don't over-release your hands with a shut face. If you're doing that and hitting in the middle of the face, it's going to go left. That's all it's going to go. Okay. Watch his face. How much is it turned over? That's his hands. He's just turning his body through. Yeah. He'll release it eventually over here, but he's already hit it.
Yeah.
So to be a shut face player, you got to turn faster through the ball and don't let your hands get over. Okay. Now, if you start slicing it, that means you're overdoing it. Okay. That means you're holding on to it. What was I going to say here? A lot of things right. What was the number? 134. All right, that's Duffner on the right. I want you to watch your transition and then we're going to compare. I want you to be careful with your lunge. Okay. Let's see what he does when the club's right there. Don't see quite as much lunge.
Yeah, he just kind of shifts forward a little bit.
It is a shift. When he drops his arms, your arms are going to be back there. So it's still at that stage right there. What do you see different? Kind of goes back to what we started with. How far is your left knee moved forward? Look at your left knee and look at this. Hey, kid. Absolutely. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm still teaching. Yeah, I'll be back. I'll be running this. Stay warm. So what we want to avoid is getting too lateral. Okay. That could contribute to why you're hitting it on the heel instead of turning. So in your transition, I try to get you not to move as much forward that way. Yeah. That's not what we call a lunge. Mm-hmm. When we did Dustin, I know he was hitting through this, but you didn't see as much of that lateral motion. Since you're more of a, like I said, a shut face player. Let's see how much he goes forward. I think he's going to go more around than forward. I'm not going to say he's not going to go forward. He does, right? But not as much as you do. I think you go forward more. Right? I think he's staying more centered. Yeah. And rotating more. Yeah. This is left knee is straight in his hip,
Mhm.
and yours is going out.
Yeah. So we go out.
See his left knee straight.
Mhm.
So we just want to avoid the lunge.
Okay.
All right, just to recap everything we worked on. Posture. Pin point, middle finger, top of the kneecap. One fist with your irons, two with your driver. Parallel stance or close to parallel driver can be slightly to the right, but not too much. My wedges are slightly to the left. I'm more open with the shorter clubs. More square with the middle irons. Slightly to the right with my driver because I'm going through. Ball position looked pretty good there. Make sure you're not too wide with your driver. Backswing, I didn't really see anything there that I would change. I didn't see you sway. I didn't see, a lot of teachers are going to look at your swing and say, quit shutting the face. Don't listen because it just means that you've got to be faster with your body. That's all that means. Um, again, I could show you or whoever told you to not do that. A lot of different players that play shut face. I think you would agree that Dustin's a pretty good player. You'd like his bank account for sure. Here's Zach Johnson. You can't see the club at the top, but I promise you it's dead shut. It's just like Dustin's. It's shut now.
Mhm.
It's going to stay shut all the way back. But he's going to do exactly what Dustin does when he comes down. I'm putting this on the video for you. When he comes down, he's going to turn his body. Remember how your face was slightly closed there too?
Yeah.
Watch how fast he turns his hips and his chest. If he's not flipping his hands over there, that club face is still square to that arm. He's kind of a push drawer too.
Okay.
So really just keep it that simple. He's really not doing.
Mhm.
You do